So we know we want meditation in our lives. We know that our minds are busy, we're stressed out, we'd like more peace, more contentment, more presence in our lives, and we know that meditation could do that for us. But then we sit down to meditate and find that mind just will not stop. We get fidgety, we get frustrated, and pretty soon meditation just becomes one more thing on that list of stresses. One more thing that we're not doing very well at, one more thing that maybe we've failed at, one more thing to stress about. So there are plenty of videos on YouTube and on the internet that will teach you how to sit in meditation, how to breathe, maybe what type of meditation to use. But what I want to take you through today is what I've learned after years and years and years and years and years of meditation. I've gone through all of the bumpy bits, I've gone through all of the frustrations and the problems, and I've found my way through each and every one of them. What I want to give you today is effective, useful tips that will actually help you to improve and even enjoy your meditation practice. Make sure you stay tuned to the end because I am saving the best one till last. Okay, so moving into tip number 1, and that is finding the balance between effortlessness and alertness. So, biggest thing that I've done wrong, and the biggest thing that I see my students doing wrong, is trying too hard. There is a quality of effortlessness to meditation, and what we tend to do is we sit down, like we do in so many things in our culture, and we try hard at it. We try really, really, really hard to focus. We try hard to concentrate. Maybe we have a point of focus, the breath, and we try really, really hard to concentrate on that breath. And we try to push the mind away. We try to stop the mind from coming in. It's all tension, rigidity, and effort. We might even be trying to achieve some kind of a state, some kind of state of peacefulness or even enlightenment. And we're trying hard to make it happen. This is all yang energy. Yang energy is this effort, this doing, this trying, this forcing, this making things happen. It's an energy that is very useful in everyday life, but in meditation, we want to be able to sink into a more yin-like energy. Yin is the opposite. Yin is effortless. So instead of focusing really, really hard on the breath, we want to just rest our attention with the breath or the mantra or whatever the point of focus is. And it feels very much like just allowing your awareness to land and just settle somewhere. There's no effort that goes in. It's a restfulness. The same when we're dealing with the mind. When the mind is coming in, we're not going to be able to stop the mind. I'm going to tell you now, as long as your heart is beating and your lungs are breathing, your mind is going to come in meditation. And we don't want to get into an effort, a rigidity, a tension to push that away. What we want to do is allow the mind to come in, so there's a softness about our inner energy. We're allowing the mind to come in, but what we do is instead of then following that thought to the next thought, the next thought, the next thought, the next thought, we let the mind come in, and then we simply let the mind fall away. And then another thought may come in, and we just let that one fall away. And what happens there when you operate in that way in meditation is rather than the mind stopping completely, the mind is allowed to continue, but you start to be able to develop more space between the thoughts. The mind's power diminishes, even if its busyness and its loudness and its frequency may diminish. When we get locked into a fight with the mind and we try to stop it, we actually just give it more power, we bring more energy to it. So there has to be a softness and allowing for the mind to come in and then for it just to leave. Even in letting go of the thoughts, they're not pushed away, they're just allowed to fall away. So what I hope you can feel from this is as we're resting our attention, let's say with our breath, and we're allowing the mind to come in, but then we just let it go. And then maybe there's just a little bit of space and we let that space be there. And then maybe a thought comes in and then we just let it go. We let it fall away. We relax and release that thought, that subject. There's this quality of ease. There's a quality of easiness, an effortlessness, and a softness to what we're doing. Now, a little bonus tip is to use your body as a gauge with this. So as you are sitting in meditation, whatever position you've chosen, you will know if you're going into rigidity, tension, effort, that yang energy, because it will show up in your body. So if your jaw starts to clench and your brow starts to furrow, your hands clench, your belly holds, whatever it may be, that's because you're trying too hard. At the same time, we want an alertness. As we rest our attention with the breath, with a soft and effortless manner, we're still very much alert and aware of the breath. We're very dialed in, very tuned in, very aware of that breath. So the other thing to watch out for in the body is if you start to slouch and if you start to wobble, fall asleep, anything like that is letting you know you've just gone too far the other way into drifting off and becoming kind of too passive. So the balance that you're looking for between being effortless but alert can be felt in the body. We want to be sitting upright, we want to be attentive and alert, but without tension, without gripping, without rigidity. So use your body as a marker. So number 2 is using the power of stillness within the body to set a foundation to everything. Back, just had to rescue a fly. So moving on to number 2, and that is an underestimated power, which is the power of stillness in the body to set a foundation to everything. When we come into meditation, the first thing we want to do once we've found our seated position is allow the body to settle very naturally without force into stillness. And then we resolve or we commit to remain in that stillness for the remainder of our meditation. The only exception is if we absolutely need to move. Maybe something in the body is absolutely screaming at us and we just need to relocate the leg and then back into stillness. But otherwise, there is a commitment to remain still. This is so underestimated. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs that I had. The body and the mind are connected. And if you allow your body to move and fidget, every time the mind becomes agitated or busy or fluctuates, your mind will never calm. It will never settle. Because of the connection between the mind and the body, if you allow the body to act as a foundation of stillness, almost like an anchor of stillness, and even though the mind could be doing all kinds of backflips and busyness, you just allow your body, no matter what, to just remain. What you will feel is a sense of stillness within the body that's kind of riding those waves. So the mind can go up and down and up and down and up and down and all over the place, but the body remains still. And eventually this busyness will come down to join the stillness of the body. So the body is something you can be in control of. The body is something that you can allow to remain still. So number 3 is let it be bumpy, let it be imperfect. So I'm going to make a confession to the world now, a complete perfectionist. It's probably why I do this job. It's probably why I teach Yin Yoga. It's probably why I do meditation and teach it. A lot of us are. A lot of us try really, really hard to get everything just right and to have control over things as well. So what I want to tell you to do in your meditation for tip number 3 is let it be bumpy, let it be imperfect. It's going to be, if you're a human being, you're going to have a kind of messy time of it when you're meditating. And I just want to give you absolute permission to be there and be like that. We all do. Please do not think that you are the only one that is feeling that way in your meditation. You are absolutely going to have many, many moments in your meditation whether you lose your point of focus and you go off into the mind. You're going to have moments of getting completely dug into the mind for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes before you realise, oh, I've gone again, and you bring yourself back to your point of focus. You're going to have moments of complete frustration. You're going to have waves of emotions that come up that you don't quite know what to do with. All of this is part of the practice. I'm going to say that one more time. It's part of the practice. It's part of the meditation. When you lose your concentration and you go off, that is the moment where you get to learn how to notice that that's happened, that you notice you've gone away. When you then notice, that's the moment where you get to practice dropping those thoughts, releasing, relaxing those thoughts away. And then when you've done that, you get to practice bringing your attention back to, let's say, your breath. All of this is practice. All of these are skills that need to be learnt. So at no point have you gone wrong. So please do not be disheartened. Please know that you will lose your concentration many times. Meditation is a dance of going away and bringing yourself back, and going away and bringing yourself back. The one thing that you can have to cut through all of that is a commitment to return. That no matter what, no matter how bumpy or messy it gets, you just hold your commitment to bring your attention back to your breath or your mantra or your point of focus. So the next tip kind of ties into that, and that is to please find an energy of compassion for yourself in meditation. When we're in meditation, a lot of us have quite a lot riding on it. We may be super stressed, we may be in a lot of unhappy emotion, we may be having such a busy mind, we could be having panic attacks. And maybe we've told ourselves that meditation is the answer. It's where we're going to find our peace. It's where we're going to find our contentment. It's where we're going to be able to solve the busy mind, the stress, the emotions, whatever it may be. We have a lot riding on that. And when we sit in meditation and we don't get it right, we can really turn on ourselves. We can get really frustrated with ourselves and say things like, I can't do this, I'm no good. Please, please, please. Part of your practice here is to find, and when I learnt this, the repercussions was far reaching through my life, and that is to bring in compassion. So it's up to you when you're in your meditation and it's bumpy, you're maybe getting frustrated with yourself, to bring in an energy of love, an energy of encouragement. If you had a child, a loved one who wasn't doing particularly well, you would usually say things along the line of, don't worry, you don't have to get it all perfect. Just keep trying. You can do this, you just have to stick at it. You do not have to be the best, just be here, just show up. Whatever the words are, whatever the compassionate and loving words are that come to you, speak them to yourself. Be loving towards yourself. Be patient, be kind, be encouraging. Try not to be the one who turns against yourself in meditation. And a little side note here is to please, please, please do not make the mind the enemy. So we tend to get this idea in our heads in meditation that the mind is the thing that needs to go. That's the thing that's causing us the problems. That's the thing that's getting in the way and stands in between us and peacefulness. To a degree, that's correct. But what we need to understand is that the mind isn't going to stop. It is not going to stop. It is going to keep coming in. And we can fight that, but that would be like fighting with the breeze, fighting with the weather. We're not going to succeed, and we're just going to get really, really frustrated. And what that does is it just adds like fuel to the fire. The emotion of frustration kind of pours all over the mind and allows it to get bigger and louder and have more to chat about. So what we want to do with the mind is not think about it as the enemy. It's fine that it's there. It's really not a problem. When you make peace with that, it kind of brings all the emotion of it down. And what this allows you to do is this. The mind, think of it like a separate entity that is fed by your attention. It is, every time you pay attention to it and you believe in it and you give weight to it, it gets a little bit bigger, gets a little bit more solid, a little bit more powerful. Every time that you just let a thought drop away and you come back to your point of focus, you pay attention to something else other than it, the mind diminishes a little. So from a more peaceful place of allowing, accepting the mind, there. There's no kind of added energy given to it. It allows you to quite easily and peacefully just keep letting it drop away. Just keep letting it drop away. There's a commitment to just be quite repetitive with this. And over time, what you find happens is the mind's power just starts to diminish. Its busyness starts to slow. And that's where you start to be able to, you take control. But you take control by first surrendering to the fact that it's there and it's gonna keep coming. So it's a little bit of a paradox, and it's a little bit against our natural instincts. Our natural instincts, when something's there in the way, is to fight with it. Don't make it the enemy. Please allow it to be there, and then from that space you'll be able to navigate. My final tip, and this is my favourite one, I've saved the best till last, and that is, do not make meditation something that you just do in isolated seated sessions. I used to sit and meditate for 5-10 minutes, building it up to 15-20 minutes and so on. And then one day I was advised by one of my teachers to start to meditate throughout the day. So to do this, I just picked 2 moments. When I was in the shower, when I was making a cup of tea, I would just totally be with what I was doing. So if I was making the tea, I would just stand and listen to the sound of the kettle. Just take that sound in. I would maybe look around the room and just take in the light of the room, the colours around me, the feeling of the floor underneath my feet. As I poured the tea, I would hear the sound of the water, I'd watch the steam. As I held the mug, I'd feel the warmth under my hand. So I would just completely dial into what I was doing. I wouldn't be using my mind to analyse any of it, to add to any of it. I would just be taking in that detail, not adding to it, not building it, not judging it, not doing anything with it, just simply taking in the information, taking in the sensory experience. When I was in the shower, I would just feel the water on my skin, the warmth, the sound of the water falling below. So we can start here, and then I added in when I was driving, I would feel the steering wheel under my hands, I would tune into the feeling of the seat underneath me, etc. So over time, I've built this in throughout the day. This is now a natural habit for me. I very naturally, even as I've been talking to you here, have been tuning into the feeling of the floor underneath me, the warmth of the clothes against my skin, the feeling of my posture, the feeling in my muscles of tension and softness. So I've been very present with this moment as we've been talking. And this is how you build that meditative state into everyday life, and it allows you to practice in a very different way. There's something that at the beginning I found easier about meditating on what I was doing. And then when I went back to sitting in meditation, which is also really valuable, I found that helped that too. The two kind of helped each other. So my biggest favorite tip, guys, is to meditate throughout the day. Pick one thing, making your cup of coffee, you know, when you're stroking the dog, whatever it may be, and just fully be there. Take in the moment. And a little side bonus tip is to treat it like a game. So I kind of set this game of what can I notice and what can I take in that I haven't already noticed. So one more thing, what can I notice here that I haven't already noticed? Carry that question with you in those moments throughout your day, and you will definitely start to notice a difference. So that wraps up my 5 top tips for meditation. I hope this is useful for you guys. If you have questions, if any of this helped you, if you have any help of your own that you've found in meditation, please put it in the comments below. And that way the comments below become a space where we can help each other out. And I just love to hear from you all, as you know. If you're new to finding me, I am Sarah Collins. I do Yin Yoga classes, meditations, and videos like this on my channel weekly. So if you like this and you want to find out more, come take a look at the channel. You can hit subscribe and hit the little bell. That way you are notified when my weekly videos go live. And one last little plug for myself, and that is my 21-day challenge. So I have created 21 days of Yin Yoga, short 20-minute videos that you can do every single day, and you can join that on my website. The link is below. Thanks for being with me, guys. I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video.